G'day there, Mark here from Tempest Tools. This video is all about Drawing Doctor. So on each part, when it's uploaded, you'll notice that you'll see a hyperlink to open Drawing Doctor. But if you click on the thumbnail of the part, it will open up Drawing Doctor as well. So I'm going to start from the top left and work my way down. So up in here, you can see there's a backwards and a forwards arrow, which enables you to get backwards along the parts in the quote or forwards. But I prefer to click on the drop down and choose the specific part that I want to work on. It's just more efficient. It's just personal preference. So it's up to you whether you want to go backwards or forwards. So that's what that does. Then you've got your layers tab just directly below that. So when we upload a part to ToolBox, it'll assume that everything's on the cutting layer. So if your part does have layers, make sure you check this first. It's probably the first thing I check, to be honest, to make sure the part has been drawn with layers, because it's so much quicker to assign the layers in here rather than having to come and select things, especially when they're very intricate or very close together. So I'm going to run through now and just set that to etching, and I'm going to set that to folding, and I'm going to set the final one to information. So anything on the information layer, if you select the material and thickness, it just ignores that layer. It's just an information layer. Next one down is the details. Drawing Doctor is the name of this part. I can see my units of measure and I can add notes in here. Third one down, I can set quantities, cutting technology, material thickness and sheets in here. I'll come back to this one in a tick. The second last one is your folding layer. So there's two sources in your drop down here. One is to set the folding manually, so you enter your own dimensions and numbers of folds in here, or if you set that to drawing, it will measure. So what it's going to do now, because I've set that to source, it's going to measure that fold. And if I click on that fold just to prove the concept, you can see that it's 100 mil high, and there's one of them. And then last but not least, you've got your secondary processes. So in this case, I don't want powder coating on this one, but I want galvanizing. So I've just switched it. Just make sure you do hit save though, and it will save it. Again, personal preference, I prefer to do all of that back in the quoting page. Over to the right hand side now, so you've got the original CAD button here, which is really handy to read things about the part. You can only zoom in and zoom out. You can't change anything. It's just a read-only sort of section. So you can see here my scale is 1 to 10. My material is mild steel and my thickness is 3 mil, and I've got my quantity as well. So if I flick back in here, I can now come into the properties tab and do all that. So that's what I'll return to. So it's mild steel, and I'll go 3 mil. And if you've got more than one sheet size, you can choose to pick a specific sheet size. Scale, as I said, my scale was 1 to 10, so I'm going to scale it back up, or scale it up, and you can see that the dimensions have changed now. I can remove certain things like open inners or non-solid lines, so if I've got any center marks on this one, which I haven't, open inners is a really good, quick, efficient way to remove them. In this case, I've got if I go to here, look, I've got a dash line in there, so I want to get rid of that. I don't need it, so I just go remove non-solid line, and it will delete that. But you can select it and then delete selected anyway, so it's up to you. Maybe if there's more than one dash line, it's easier. Extract enables you to extract all parts in the drawing. I might come back to this one in a tick. Actually, I won't come back to it because there's a video on this, the first video in the playlist, which shows you how to extract the parts. I want to make this quick, or quicker than it should be, so I won't come back to that one. You've got delete, so you can delete things as it says in here. So if you want to delete something specific, so I'll just grab that H there, delete it. I can go delete selected. And then the other delete options are pretty self-explanatory. If I wanted to delete everything inside the path, I'd choose the path there, and if I chose that, it would delete everything inside. And the opposite is the case as well. If I want to delete everything outside of that path, if there's any bits and pieces of geometry out here, it will delete that. The modify button enables you to switch stuff around. So if I wanted to, I probably wouldn't, but if I wanted to, I could set that outer cut to the information layer, and you can see that change. All right, and I'll change it back because it should be cutting. So in cutting, you've also got a help button here. So this will show you the shortcuts. So I prefer to just click it and use it, but if you get really quick at this or you've got a lot of things to do, it might be better for you to use a shortcut. So they're all listed there. And then lastly, you've got your legend, which just explains the color sequences of all of the colors in ToolBox. And then last but not least, you've got the reset drawing. Now, just a explanation on this, it's going to reset it back to the start. So if you've done a lot of work with changing layers and deleting stuff, you're going to get back what you uploaded. So just be aware of that before you click that. So I'll show you that now. And before I do that, I find these things annoying after I've read them and understand them. So I'm going to switch them both off by just clicking back on themselves here, and they disappear. So as you can see here, reset drawing resets that back to the original as it was uploaded. And that's all I wanted to run through today. Have a play around with Drawing Doctor. It's a really handy tool to get things cleaned up and fixed and all that sort of thing. So have a play around. And as normal, if you get stuck with anything, please reach out to myself, Jackson, or Sebastian, and we're more than happy to jump in and give you a tutorial on this. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.